Welcome to a journey through the veiled wisdom of the ancients. Across time, both the elaborate rites of ancient mystery schools and the simpler ceremonies of modern religions have shared a common goal: to preserve and transmit sacred processes for human salvation. Through symbolic dramas and rituals, these traditions sought to guide individuals towards self-knowledge and spiritual awakening. In this video, we'll explore how these allegories, rooted in the teachings of ancient seers and sages, reveal the hidden mechanisms of the soul's journey. Prepare to discover how the body is seen as a living temple, and how the mysteries of fire, light, and regeneration are woven into the fabric of human existence. Imagine yourself as the master of your own universe, residing at the center of a living temple, your body. Ancient wisdom teaches that every person is both king and high priest within this sacred structure, responsible for maintaining order and harmony. Temples of old, such as those in Karnak or St. Peter, in Rome, were designed in the image of the human form. The rituals performed within their chambers symbolized processes unfolding within our own bodies. This profound connection between architecture and anatomy reveals that the path to spiritual enlightenment is mirrored in the very structure of our being. Freemasonry stands as a vivid example of how ancient doctrines use drama and symbolism to hint at the regeneration of the human soul. Divided into speculative and operative branches, Masonry teaches that the lodge is a symbol of the human organism. The speculative side focuses on symbolic teachings, while the operative side involves mystical activities within the physical and spiritual bodies of initiates. The ultimate goal is to unlock the occult keys to self-knowledge and salvation, a pursuit that has inspired seekers throughout history to endure trials and hardships in their quest for truth. Initiation into the mysteries was never a trivial affair. Candidates faced daunting trials. Druidic initiates were sent adrift on the sea, while seekers in Central America braved dark caves and terrifying ordeals. These challenges were designed to test courage, presence of mind, and worthiness. Only those who overcame fear and exhaustion were welcomed into the sanctuary of wisdom. The dangers were real, but so were the rewards. The knowledge gained was considered worth any risk, as it opened the doors to profound spiritual truths. The severe tests of initiation served a crucial purpose: to filter out those unfit to receive the sacred powers guarded by the priests. Only the most dedicated and disciplined were entrusted with the deeper secrets. The ancient masters believed that the mysteries should never be revealed to the uninitiated, and that only those who lived a life of virtue and self-mastery could access the true teachings. This careful selection ensured that the wisdom of the temple remained intact, passed down only to those who could uphold its sanctity. The focus of the ancient mysteries was always the world within man, not the external universe. While modern civilization has mastered the material world, the true enigma, the mysterious stone of power within each living being, remains largely unrecognized. The path to wisdom lies in unraveling the riddle of our own existence. Temples of initiation were repositories of this knowledge, offering the keys to untangling the Gordian knot of human nature. The greatest spiritual truths, though hidden in allegory and symbol, are always present, waiting to be discovered by those who learn the language of symbolism. From the dawn of time, fire has been revered as the supreme symbol of divine power. The ancients saw the sun as a great fire burning at the heart of the cosmos, its mysterious spirits governing the flames. Sacred fires burned on altars across the world, representing the divine light that animates all life. Whether in the torch of Zeus, the hearth of Vesta, or the longing of the soul, fire was honored as the essence of spiritual energy and transformation. Sun worship traces back to the earliest civilizations. The sun was seen not only as a source of light and heat but as a mediator of divine power. Many cultures believed the sun was a reflector, channeling the infinite light of the cosmos. Its annual journey through the zodiac, its death and resurrection, became central themes in countless religions. The names and attributes of gods and saviors, Jupiter, Apollo, Mithra, Odin, Buddha, and many more, are all linked to the sun's fiery essence and spiritual light. The myth of Prometheus beautifully illustrates the gift and burden of divine fire. According to Greek legend, Prometheus, moved by love for humanity, stole fire from the gods and gave it to mankind, warning them to use it for good. Yet people misused this sacred power, turning it to destruction and war. As punishment, Prometheus was bound and tormented until a hero, Hercules the initiate, freed him. This story symbolizes the soul's struggle to master the sacred fire within and achieve spiritual liberation. Occult philosophy teaches that the sun is a triple sphere, with two invisible aspects. The visible globe is only the lowest phase, representing the body of the demiurge. The sun's threefold nature, will, wisdom, and action, corresponds to life, light, and heat. These principles shaped both heaven and earth, but a great gulf separated the divine from the material. Light, or intelligence, became the mediator, allowing communication between God and humanity. This mystical light, both visible and invisible, is the bridge between spirit and matter. Initiates were taught about three suns. The first, bearer of the Father, illuminated the spirit. The second, vehicle of the Son, developed the mind. The third, bearer of the Holy Spirit, nourished the body. Light was not just a physical phenomenon but also a mental and spiritual force. The invisible sun was revered even more than the visible, for every visible thing is the result of an invisible cause. Those who could perceive this spiritual light lived in the presence of unlimited illumination, seeing the sun shine even at midnight. Ancient priests were said to have crafted lamps that burned for centuries without refueling, symbolizing the eternal fire of the universe. These virgin lamps were found in tombs and temples, their flames undiminished by time. Whether through lost arts or mystical means, these lamps served as powerful reminders of the undying spiritual light that pervades all existence. Even today, legends of ever-burning lights inspire awe and curiosity, challenging the boundaries of science and faith. Druid priests in ancient Britain used focused sunlight to ignite altar fires, believing this process attracted divine energy. Special crystals or brooches like the Lyeth Mesosith were used to concentrate the sun's rays. Mistletoe, revered for its supposed descent via lightning, was considered a powerful medium for cosmic fire. Its unique properties made it central to rituals and healing, embodying the mysterious connection between plants, light, and spiritual energy. Certain animals, minerals, and plants were considered sacred for their sensitivity to astral fire. Cats, for example, were revered in Egypt for their magnetic properties, and their fur could emit visible light in darkness. Lodestones, radium, and parasitic plants like mistletoe were believed to absorb cosmic energy. Medieval magicians surrounded themselves with animals like bats, cats, and snakes to harness astral power, while temples often kept such creatures as living symbols of wisdom and spiritual force. Christianity, too, preserves ancient fire worship in its symbols and rituals. The censer, used in churches, represents the human body, with incense symbolizing the life forces and the burning spark as the spiritual call within. Candles on altars, often in odd numbers, recall the sacredness of fire and the sun. Gold decorations and the orientation of churches toward the east are further echoes of sun worship, while the use of oil in anointing rituals connects to the life-giving energy of the sun. Ancient Egyptian teachings held that blood was the carrier of consciousness, with the spirit moving through the bloodstream at the speed of thought. The mystical fire circulating in the blood kept the spiritual nature in contact with the body. Wine, seen as the closest earthly substance to blood, was used in rituals to symbolize this connection. The interplay of fire, blood, and consciousness reveals the deep links between physical and spiritual life. The flowing rays of the sun were often associated with the lion, whose mane symbolized solar energy. Golden-haired gods and saviors, as well as earthly rulers, adopted these symbols to reflect their connection to the sun's power. Crowns, halos, and other regalia were designed to evoke the image of the radiant sun, reinforcing the idea that true authority and divinity are linked to the light within. The radiant aura surrounding saints and deities in art is a visual representation of the spiritual light that emanates from within. This light, especially pronounced around the head, inspired the use of halos and influenced the colors and shapes of religious garments. Blue and gold robes, multicolored vestments, and symbolic patterns all reflect the invisible energies that surround and define the spiritual state of the wearer. In ancient Egyptian mysteries, the hand was a symbol of wisdom and healing. Artistic depictions often showed sun rays ending in human hands, signifying the transmission of divine energy. The hand's power to revive and uplift was seen as a reflection of the sun's ability to draw water and elevate the soul. This symbolism underscores the intimate link between physical action and spiritual transformation. Pythagoras taught that the Creator fashioned both the cosmos and man in the same image. Early priests placed human figures in their temples as symbols of divine power, using them to study the mysteries of nature. These figures, often covered in hieroglyphs and symbolic markings, served as models for understanding the greater universe. The human body became a microcosm, reflecting the structure and secrets of the cosmos itself. Over time, the original meanings of these sacred figures were forgotten. The statues, once tools for teaching cosmic truths, became objects of worship themselves. The secret knowledge of their purpose faded, and the focus shifted from inner wisdom to external forms. This loss of understanding led to the decline of ancient temples and the rise of idolatry, as the true significance of the symbols was obscured. Christianity, at its core, is a school of mysteries. Its founder, Jesus, was an initiate of the Essene mysteries, and early Christian teachings were deeply influenced by ancient esoteric traditions. The allegories and parables of the Bible conceal profound spiritual truths, accessible only to those who seek deeper understanding. The true temple of initiation is not a physical building, but the inner structure of the soul. A careful study of the Old and New Testaments reveals many hidden teachings. The word Elohim in Genesis, for example, is a plural, and Adam is not a single man but a type or race. The true Holy Land is the human body, the sacred ground where the spiritual drama unfolds. Understanding these allegories transforms the way we approach Scripture, revealing layers of meaning that go far beyond the literal. At the heart of every person burns an eternal flame, a spark of the infinite wheel, unborn, immortal, and ever-present. This inner fire is the altar flame, the source of all perfection and the ultimate goal of spiritual pursuit. All experiences, intelligence, and actions are eventually absorbed into this flame, fueling its brilliance. The journey of the soul is a process of recognizing, nurturing, and ultimately merging with this divine light within. The burning candle is a powerful symbol of the human spirit. Its three lights, blue, yellow, and red, correspond to the divine, human, and demonic fires within us. The blue flame represents reason and clarity, the yellow is fueled by pure oil and burns steadily, while the red is the consuming fire of passion and desire. Mastery of these inner fires is essential for spiritual growth and transformation. Within each person lies a complete universe, heaven, earth, and hell. The higher worlds are reflected in our spiritual nature while the lower worlds are present in our instincts and passions. The journey of redemption is an intensely personal quest requiring us to confront and harmonize these inner realms. The mysteries teach that all the powers of the cosmos are present within us, waiting to be awakened and expressed. Life and light are inseparable. Every living being contains a spark of immortal brilliance, visible to those with spiritual sight. The atmosphere itself is alive with light, and the world is filled with colors and radiance beyond ordinary perception. This universal, living glow is the most perfect symbol of the divine, representing the primary manifestation of the unmanifested and eternal. Fire philosophers revered three lights: the light of the sun, the light of the earth, and the light of the soul. The ultimate goal was to reunite the small light within each person with the great light, its source. This process of regeneration and spiritual ascent was the highest secret of the mysteries, revealed only to those deemed worthy of wielding the power of life and death. Freemasonry preserves many symbols and teachings from the ancient mysteries. The name itself is linked to the concept of sons of light, and many rituals are rooted in sun worship and fire symbolism. The allegory of Hiram Abiff, the master builder, represents the regeneration of the soul through the mastery of the inner fire. The distinction between the sons of fire and sons of water reflects the dual nature of humanity, aspiring in content, progressive and conservative. The highest spiritual state is symbolized by the androgynous spirit, both male and female in one. The legend of Melchizedek, the priest-king who was his own father and mother, represents this ideal. The union of heart and mind, intuition and reason is necessary for true spiritual maturity. Only by balancing these forces can we achieve the fullness of our divine potential. The human body is filled with spiritual centers, often described as flowers or lotuses. Each hand and foot contains a vital center, and the major organs are surrounded by whirling vortices of light. These centers, when awakened, can expand consciousness and unlock hidden abilities. Ancient traditions from Egypt to India mapped these centers and developed practices to activate them, seeing the body as a living instrument of spiritual evolution. The spine is revered as the central axis of the nervous system and the key to spiritual liberation. Along its length are 7 major centers, each associated with specific powers and qualities. The awakening of these centers, especially through the ascent of the sacred fire Kundalini, is the focus of many mystical traditions. The spine is the staff that blossoms, the tree of life, and the path to enlightenment. Eastern teachings describe 49 sacred nerve centers in the body, with 7 being the most important. These centers, often visualized as lotuses with varying numbers of petals, are gateways to higher consciousness. The proper development of these centers, especially those in the brain, leads to spiritual awakening. The number 7 recurs throughout the body, reflecting the influence of the 7 primordial spirits or Elohim within us. Kundalini, the serpent power, lies coiled at the base of the spine. When awakened, it rises through the central channel, activating each center in turn. This ascent is accompanied by profound changes in consciousness and perception. The process is symbolized by the caduceus, with 2 serpents winding around a central staff, representing the balance of energies and the journey towards spiritual illumination. The pineal and pituitary glands in the brain are of immense spiritual significance. The pineal gland, often called the third eye, is linked to higher consciousness and spiritual vision. The pituitary gland, with its dual nature, plays a key role in awakening and balancing spiritual energies. The interaction between these glands is central to the process of enlightenment, as described in both Eastern and Western esoteric traditions. The third eye is more than a metaphor, it is an actual center of perception linked to the pineal gland. In ancient times, this organ was the seat of conscious vision, allowing direct awareness of spiritual realities. As physical senses developed, this inner sight diminished, but it can be reawakened through spiritual practice. The third eye is the gateway to higher worlds and deeper understanding. Beyond the brain, the entire glandular system plays a vital role in spiritual development. The 7 major ductless glands are each associated with a planet and a spiritual quality. The spleen and liver serve as portals for subtle energies, connecting the physical body to higher realms. Understanding the functions of these glands is key to unlocking the mysteries of both health and spiritual evolution. The path of initiation is a journey through the inner chambers of the self. Lower degrees involve confronting the darkness of one's own nature, battling fears and illusions. Higher degrees bring the soul into radiant halls of light, surrounded by truth and wisdom. Initiation is both a death and a rebirth, a process of shedding ignorance and awakening to the fullness of spiritual life. The all-seeing eye, often symbolized by the peacock with eyes in its feathers, represents the awakened spiritual vision. Monks shave the crown of the head to honor this center, and children still connected to higher worlds are especially sensitive in this area. The third eye is the focal point for clairvoyance and spiritual insight, and its awakening marks a major milestone on the path of initiation. The ancient maxim, "Know thyself," was inscribed above temple doors for a reason. True understanding of the body's organs and functions is the foundation for comprehending all religions and spiritual systems. Every tradition, from the most primitive to the most advanced, is rooted in the mysteries of the human form. Self-knowledge is the gateway to all wisdom and the key to unlocking the secrets of the universe. Your body is not just a vessel but a living temple, housing the sacred flame of divinity. Every organ, every center, every function is part of a grand design, reflecting the structure of the cosmos. By honoring and understanding this temple, you align yourself with the universal order and open the way to spiritual realization. The process of regeneration is the central secret of the mysteries. By awakening the sacred fire within, you begin the journey of transformation, turning the base elements of your nature into spiritual gold. This alchemical process is symbolized in countless myths and rituals, all pointing to the same truth: the power to change and ascend lies within you. All spiritual traditions teach that the light within us ultimately seeks reunion with its source. The journey of the soul is a return to the great light, the divine origin from which we came. Through self-knowledge, discipline, and the awakening of the inner fire, we fulfill our highest destiny and become co-creators with the divine. The universal fire is the most sacred symbol across all cultures. It is the living, immortal spark at the heart of every being, the source of all life and consciousness. By recognizing and honoring this fire, we connect with the deepest truths of existence and participate in the eternal dance of creation. As we conclude our exploration, remember that the mysteries of fire, light, and regeneration are not relics of the past, they are living realities within each of us. The journey to self-knowledge and spiritual awakening is ongoing, inviting us to honor the temple of the body, master the inner fires, and realize our divine potential. The sacred flame awaits your recognition. May you walk the path of light with wisdom and courage.